Once upon a time, in a grand kingdom, there lived a wise and gentle king who had 12 lovely daughters. Each princess was more graceful and beautiful than the other, and all of them were young and full of joy. But the princesses shared a secret sorrow. Their mother, the beloved queen, had passed away when they were very small. Because of this, the princesses loved their father, the king, even more dearly, and promised to always stay close to one another. Before the queen's passing, she left behind a special magical gift for each of her daughters. For every princess, she wrote a beautiful enchanted book, a story just for her. These books were kept safe in the royal library, waiting to be given on each princess's 15th birthday. Each book described something magical hidden within the princess's own chamber. But there was a mystery. The books could not be fully understood until the youngest princess received hers. The princesses always believed the books were simply fairy tales written by their mother's loving hand, little bedtime stories to comfort them. None of them imagined that the words inside were truly magical, or that the final secret would change their lives forever. The years passed in peace, and one by one, the princesses reached their 15th birthdays. Each time a princess turned 15, her father would present her with the beautifully bound book her mother had left behind. At last, the youngest princess, Lila, turned 15. On the evening of her birthday, the king handed her a small velvet-wrapped package. Inside lay her mother's book, the final one. That night, as the moonlight streamed into their chamber, Lila opened the book. The sisters gathered around her, their eyes wide with curiosity. To their surprise, all 12 books shimmered and began to glow softly. The blank pages in each book started to fill with golden writing, as if an invisible hand was finishing the stories. The eldest princess gasped, "Look! The words are appearing." The magical pages revealed a hidden passage beneath their chamber. Lila whispered, "It's real. Mother's stories are real." As the clock struck midnight, the eldest princess placed her book on her bedside table. To her amazement, the book's cover glowed, and the floor beneath her bed trembled softly. Then slowly sank down, revealing a hidden staircase that spiraled into the earth. Hand in hand, the sisters stepped onto the glowing staircase, their hearts beating fast with excitement. At the bottom lay a shimmering silver garden with leaves that sparkled like moonbeams. A narrow pathway led them to a crystal-clear lake, where 12 graceful boats awaited, each one guided by a mysterious prince dressed in silver and gold. The princesses climbed into the boats, and gentle music floated across the water. On the other side of the lake stood a magnificent underground castle lit by thousands of twinkling lights. There, a magical orchestra began to play, and the princesses danced the night away, spinning and laughing beneath the sparkling chandeliers. By the time the moon dipped below the horizon, their shoes were worn thin, the soles full of holes. They hurried back up the staircase, the floor of their chamber sealing shut behind them as if nothing had ever happened. Every morning at breakfast, the king noticed something strange. One by one, his daughters arrived at the royal table sleepy and yawning, sometimes even late. "My dear daughters, why do you look so tired each morning?" the king asked. "Did you not sleep well last night?" The princesses smiled politely, saying nothing. "We're quite all right, father. Perhaps we just stayed up reading our books." But the king wasn't convinced. Day after day, the same thing happened. The princesses looked more tired, yet they still whispered and giggled as though sharing a wonderful secret. The king called his trusted servants. "Keep a watchful eye. Something unusual is happening, and I must know what it is." The servants noticed worn-out shoes every morning, new ones appearing from the royal shoemaker each day. The king grew worried, but the princesses remained joyful, loving their father even more with each passing day. Determined to discover the truth, the king finally issued a royal challenge. The king declared, "Whoever can uncover the secret of my daughter's nightly dancing shall choose any one of them as his bride, and after my time, inherit the throne. But if he fails in 3 nights, his life shall be forfeit." News spread far and wide. Princes and noblemen tried. But all failed. No one returned with the secret. Meanwhile, far away in a quiet village, a young soldier, once a brave warrior but injured in battle, wandered in search of a new purpose. One evening, he came across an old woman struggling with a heavy basket. He hurried to help her, carrying the basket safely to the roadside. The old woman smiled knowingly. "You have a kind heart, brave soldier. Where are you going?" He replied, "I wish to try the king's challenge, but many have failed, and I may lose my life." The old woman's eyes twinkled. "Because of your kindness, I will help you." She handed him a magical cloak, shimmering faintly. "Wear this, and you will become invisible. You can follow the princesses and discover their secret." The soldier thanked her, tucked the cloak into his satchel, and continued to the castle, hope filling his heart. The king welcomed him and gave him a room next to the princess's chamber. The soldier had another reason to be in the castle. He was the eldest princess's childhood best friend. They had not seen each other in many years, and though she never told him the secret, their hearts still remembered their friendship. That night, they were overjoyed to see one another again. As midnight came, the soldier put on the cloak and vanished from sight. He followed the 12 princesses as they tiptoed through the secret passage. The tunnel opened into the underground garden. Silver leaves shimmering and flowers sparkling. A crystal bridge led across a calm lake to the magical castle, where they danced every night. The soldier's eyes widened as he crossed the bridge behind them. Music of flutes and harps filled the hall. The princesses twirled their gowns sparkling under the enchanted lights. Suddenly, the soldier slipped and fell into the river. The princesses gasped and rushed to pull him out. Dripping wet but smiling sheepishly, he bowed his head. "I'm sorry. I promised the king I would find the truth about the worn-out shoes. I can't lie to my king. Please, dear princess, tell your father the truth." The sisters fell silent. The eldest princess lowered her eyes. "We never wished to keep secrets from father. We just didn't know how to tell him. But you are right. It's time." The next morning, the princesses stood before their father, the king. Their voices trembled as they handed him the red envelope they had found beneath their mother's portrait. The eldest princess lowered her eyes and whispered softly, "We're sorry, father. We didn't mean to keep you worried. We waited to give it to you because we thought you wouldn't let us dance." The king's eyes filled with tears as he carefully opened the letter. Inside was a message written long ago by their beloved queen. "My dearest love, before I married you, I was a fairy of the enchanted world. For our love, I gave up my magic to live as a human. Before my powers faded, I created the secret garden and castle, a small piece of the fairyland, as a gift for our daughters. I am sorry I kept this secret from you. Please cherish this place as a memory of our love and keep it as a special chamber for you and our royal family. Always remember that I love you, and I love our children more than anything." As the king read the letter aloud, his tears glistened in the sunlight. He looked at his daughters with warmth in his heart. "Your mother's love will always be with us," he said softly. "This garden shall remain your special place, just as she wished." Time passed, and the soldier and the eldest princess grew closer. Their friendship blossomed into love, and the king gave them his blessing. One beautiful spring morning, they were married in the magical garden beneath the portrait of their mother. And so the soldier and the eldest princess lived happily ever after, and the secret garden remained a treasured memory of magic, love, and family. The end.